Hello guys and welcome back to some Age of Wonders gameplay. This is actually the second episode. If you remember last episode we went and created Safur Ru, who is a human sorcerer water wizard guy. And today we're going to be continuing our, well, or rather starting our adventure, continuing our quest to power to take over the world, ideally. As I said before, this is a tutorial kind of let's play series, so it's like I'm going to be explaining everything I'm going to be doing and like talking through what's going on and such, so all you guys who have kind of never played Age of Wonders before can kind of get an idea for what's going on and how to play and such. It's not a very complex game, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, so let's press start. Right. Now, don't be too kind of shocked by what's going on here. It's a bit like the whole game is turn-based, firstly, and the objective is to destroy or either ally with all of the other AI players. So it's me and 3 other AI basically, and I can either kill all of them, or I can like ally one of them and kill the other 2, or I can ally 2 of them and kill the other one. Whatever works best, really. And yeah, as I said, it's turn-based, so everything you do throughout the game works in turns, including the battles, which are actually the best bit of the game, which you'll see in a minute. The game is similar to both Civ and Heroes of Might and Magic, if you guys have played either of those. The whole game works in hexes, which obviously makes it fairly similar to Civ, and the whole kind of kingdom management is very, very similar to Civ's. But if you played Heroes of Might and Magic, the whole kind of controlling one hero and an army and taking over everywhere is very similar to Heroes of Might and Magic. So, right. So what you actually meant to do? Well, this is my hero here, which you can see right in the middle of the screen, and you can see him up here. This actually shows here who is in this army that I've got selected. If you can see up here, this is my leader, so there's Safur Ru. We've also got some cavalry, some priests, halberdiers, longswordsmen, and some archers in this army. You can only have 6 units per army, and it shows their health. As you see these little red bars, that's their health below each unit, so obviously it starts out at maximum. It also shows a lot of other information about that unit if you mouse over it. You can see that. This little boot here shows how far they can move. So if I move my mouse, this little green cross that I'm moving around shows where I'm going to move the unit I've got selected. So at the moment I've got this army selected. If I move it there and then right click, the army will move there. And you see on the little pop-up, it says at the bottom, base move cost 3 boot. That means, or 3 move points, that means that if I move them there, everyone in that army will subtract 3 move points. And that obviously, you can then work out how far you can move from that. Each tile, it adds more and more move points, basically. So obviously the lowest, you can only move as far as the lowest number of move points in your army. So what that means is, like, the lowest number of move points in here is 28, so I can only move up to 28 move points in total per turn, or the move points come back each turn. Okay? Each unit also has its own traits, or kind of like qualities about itself. If I click on this cavalry here, it shows its health, its move points, its armor, and resistance. So like, defense or armor is like resistance to swords and kind of stabbing weapons and physical damage, whereas resistance is like how little damage you take from spells and magical attacks, basically. And these down here are all the traits. There's also a little description, a picture. Like for instance, this unit has melee strike, so it can use a sword to hit something. It can walk. It's cavalry. It charges at things. It's a human. I'm not really sure what marina means. Don't really know. It's mounted. It has more armor than normal units. So basically all these little traits kind of determine things about the unit. Like if we have a look at the archer, for instance, we can see here its abilities are shoot bow, melee strike, it can walk, it's an archer, human, mariner, armoured. So just as I said, these are all the quantities. It gets more complicated as you go on. Like if I look at my hero, you can see it's got a lot more qualities. And what tends to happen, your hero starts out at level 1. In fact, every single unit in the game has a level. And my hero is the most important one of them all, and he starts out at level 1. And what happens, as you kill units or explore areas, you get more and more XP and you level up, and you then get more and more of these traits and spells and abilities and such as you level up, basically. You can also get items, like if you see down here I've got a lightning wand. We can get all sorts of rings and armor and weapons and all sorts of extra cool stuff in there as we go on, basically. If you level up normal units, like you see here, well actually that little pop-up menu shows exactly. Each unit starts on recruit rank, and every time they kill units they gain XP and then they level up. Like if you see on that little hit in that little pop-up box, like the first level is Trooper, and when they get Trooper they get 1 melee strength and 2 hit points, and so on and so on. And then you eventually get to Elite, where they become really powerful, basically. Right, let's actually do something. Okay, so we've got this army here. Now what we're actually going to do with it is we're going to move it over here to this yellow horse thing here. Why are we going to do that? Well, this yellow horse is actually an army owned by kind of like the rebels, or they're called the Independents. They're just it's a faction given to people who don't belong to any faction, basically. I don't really want them here because they're actually sitting on something called a creation node, which if it's within my kingdom, which I'll explain in a second, it actually gives me, if you look on the little pop-up box, it gives me an income of plus 15 of that crystal, which is actually called mana per turn, which I kind of want. You also kind of want to get rid of them as well, because if you don't get rid of them, this army will actually end up attacking you and kind of destroying parts of your kingdom every now and then. It gets really irritating. So we're gonna go and attack them. If we click on this army here and right click over here, you can see he'll move, and this is the battle screen. So this shows, on the left you can see my army here, and on the right this is the enemy army that I'm going to attack. If we click on this like that, you can see, so this is the enemy army, or hold on, let me just close it. So you can see at the moment that the enemy army has got 3 of these fell horses in them. Oh, and I can click on that and it shows exactly all the information about these fell horses that I want to know. Hit points, move speed, armor, and it shows all of their different stats and stuff here. I can see that they've got a 60% resistance to fire, so basically fire damage is useless against them. Forestry, so they're basically, because they're animals, they're good at traversing in forests, and they're usually faster than normal units as well. They're also friendly creatures, generally. I know I said they belong to the Independents, but yeah, as it says there, killing this unit is an act of evil. And although I'm not an evil person, I do need to get them off this spot, so they are going to have to die, I'm afraid. Okay, right. Now we could just do auto combat, but we're not going to do that because manual combat in this game is really, really fun. So here we go. Right. And here is the awesome battle screen. Let's wait a second for it to set up and load everything. Okay, and because they're the defenders, they get first move. And each unit has a turn where it basically walks across the battlefield and they're moving towards me to come and attack me, basically. I don't really have to move because I've actually got archers somewhere around here. Yeah, so these are all my units here. You can see because they've got the flag above them. The blue flag, which I created earlier, I think. Yeah, okay. And the flag shows kind of what units they are. So each of my units now has a turn. The first of which being my hero. Okay. The hexes actually show where they can move. and how much it'll cost to move there. So basically each unit has 3 actions. The green hex shows that it'll cost 1 action, the yellow means that it costs 2, and the orange means it costs 3 actions to move there. 1 action can be anything. It could be moving, it could be attacking, it could be casting a spell, although some spells usually cost more than 1 action point. What I will find out, because I want to kill these really, I'd rather not charge too far in, because if I like blindly charge in, then my hero will probably get slaughtered, and your hero dying straight off the bat is usually a very bad thing. So I'm actually going to move here, and I know I've got these are like the abilities which I've got up here for that hero. So obviously that's just walking, that's attacking in melee. Every single unit in the game has a defend button where they can kind of raise their defense and prepare for an incoming attack. Cast a spell, and shock bolts, which your hero usually has, which is a ranged spell basically. So we're going to use shock bolts. Oh, it doesn't actually do much damage at all. What spells do we have? Well, that's actually not very good. Damn. Okay. All right. We haven't started with any damage at all. That's a bit of a pain. Okay. All right. Well, we'll use shock bolts. It doesn't do much damage. If you see on that little pop-up box over the horse, it shows the horse's the horse's hit points. The horse's hit points, and it says 2 to 3 electric damage times 3. So that means I'll hit for 2 to 3 times, because I'm using all 3 action points to attack. I know I said earlier that the green hex means that it uses 1 action point. I think I was wrong. I think you can move to any green hex for free. I think if I remember. I've actually got, if you see on that box, I've also got a ranged penalty because I'm quite far away. Yeah, because I'm not exactly very close to them, I do half damage, which is a bit of a pain, but we haven't got any other choice, so we're just going to do that. There we are. So we hit for 2, we hit for 3, and we hit for 3. Okay. And that's the end of my hero's turn now. So now we got the cavalry. Cavalry are very, very good at charging. You see, that says 13 to 19 times 2, because obviously they're using 1 action point to get to this yellow hexagon here. It does say, if you look on the horses in the bottom, on my cavalry, it says target will retaliate. So they'll do some damage back to me. That's not too much of an issue, I don't think, though. So we're just going to charge in. There we are, so we did 15 and then we did 12, and they're almost dead now. Okay, that's my priest's turn. Ideally, I'd like to finish those off. Priests actually have a range attack called Spirit Ray, which is pretty good, which is up here, which does 8 damage up to 3 times. I'm just going to move here. Can they fire on those? Yeah, because I could use the priest. Yeah, I'm going to use the priest actually to finish this unit off over here. There we are. So 1 Spirit Ray, 2 Spirit Rays, 3 Spirit Rays, and it's dead. Okay. Human halberdiers. These guys are too far away, so I'm just going to move them up. We'll move them up here to protect our horse's flank over here. Also got our long swordsmen. Again, they're too far away, so we're just going to move them up. And archers. Archers are really good usually, but again, they're really far away, so actually I'll probably move them over here. Oh yeah, then I've got 1 action point to shoot. Won't do much damage, but yeah, let's just do it. Okay, and we did 4 damage to that horse. Yep, so now we can't move anything. All our units have had a turn, so we're just going to click this button down here to end turn. And now it's his turn. So he's going to come and attack my swordsman over here, which doesn't do much damage, because my swordsmen are fairly tanky. My swordsmen are fairly tanky. Oh, they're long swordsmen, actually. Okay. Right, so now it's my hero. I think my hero did have... So these are spells, basically, that I can cast. Sends out a wave of magical energy through a unit's body that stabilizes its physical state. Restores 30 health. Or Holy Cure, which restores 25 health. But it costs half as much mana. Right, we're probably going to use Holy Cure then, and cast it on my Longswordsman. You generally, you don't want units dying early on, because they're quite expensive to get. And it's generally a bit of a waste. Right, so we've got 2 horses here. We can either kill that one or that one. That one's on more health. Yeah, we'll go for that one. We might be able to kill it. No, we didn't kill it. Okay. And it did a little bit of damage in return. That's fine. Human Priest. Yep, he's got 3 completely free shots on this horse here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's already dead. Okay. And finally, Halberdiers. Go and finish this unit off. There we go, and we won. So, a really easy battle to start out. Not challenging at all. And we killed all of them. Okay, and we didn't lose anything. You can see here my horse has lost a little bit of health, but that's fine. Okay, and we got 13 mana for exploring the creation node. We haven't actually got this creation node yet. Remember, that was the thing that the horses are standing on, which I'm now standing on. If you see this blue hexagon around here, that actually shows the range of my kingdom or my city. Each city will increase the hexagon, but what that means is this creation node is slightly outside of this hexagon, so I can't actually make use of it yet. That's not really a problem, because there's some buildings you can get which increase the size of the hexagon, so that's not an issue. Okay, right. Next thing we need to do is to actually get a skill. If you look on the right hand side of the screen here, this is like kind of a notification center. So this tells you, well, important notifications basically. Right, so the first one is to select a skill to research. Now don't be too scared about this. All this is showing, so this is my hero basically, and he can study a skill basically to obviously use in battle, or sometimes he can get like an additional trait or something which helps him out basically. Some of these, like this one here, research the arcane currents flowing through this world. Alchemic laboratories and observatories generate an additional +5 knowledge. That is the candle. So what that means is, if I get that, that means I can then research things quicker in the future. The only problem with that is I haven't actually got any alchemic laboratories or observatories yet, so it's not really very helpful. I'm just having a look at some of these. Don't really want that. I think Magic Fist would actually be useful here. So this is a spell I can use in combat to do damage, basically. So basically, a huge fist comes and punches the crap out of some unit on the battlefield. Does 21 physical damage to a target enemy unit. And you can see down here, it costs 70 knowledge. That's fine, I've got tons of knowledge at the moment. Plenty of income. Well, and 4 turns, basically. The turns are dependent on the knowledge, basically. So if you see up here, that shows that I'm getting 20 knowledge per turn. And if you do 70 divided by, well, 20, and then divide it up, well, round it up, you get 4. So that means it will take 4 turns to get, basically. Don't worry too much about how you get that or what it means, but that was just me explaining. Okay, so I'm researching Magic Fist, and you can see down here, that shows it will take 4 turns to get, basically. Okay, so that's one notification done. Handle Hero Join Offer. Ellen the Disruptor, a level 1 Dreadnought, wishes to join your forces for 100 gold. Do I want that? So it's basically another hero wants to join my forces if I pay them to. The only thing is, I haven't really got that much gold yet, and do I really need it? I don't know. She'll actually stay here, and I can hire her later anyway. So I'm probably going to decline for now. We can always sort that out later, so that's fine. Okay, next one, select production for Tyrion, which is my city. Tyrion, the throne of Sofar. Okay, and that shows up here. So basically I've selected my city, and now we've got a load of information about it up here. Okay, each city has a certain number of people, and the people determine the outcome of the city. So you can see up here I've got 3,500 people, and that little 9 hourglass means it will take 9 turns to grow to the next level, basically. Each city has a certain number of levels. And it's producing 35 gold per turn, 12 mana per turn, 0 knowledge, 35 production, and 288 people per turn. Okay, don't worry, as I said, don't worry too much about what that really means yet. It's not that important early on, to be honest. What we do need to do, though, is we need to tell this city what it's going to do, basically. Each city is consisted of a certain number of buildings, basically. If I click on this little magnifying glass here, it shows what we've got in the building. So this is my throne city, which basically means if this city falls, then I'm in a lot of trouble, basically. It's a human city. It's got a wooden wall, it's got a barracks, and it's got a sorcerer's conflux, which is basically a special building for sorcerers. Obviously, this isn't very much for a city. We're going to need a lot more than that to start getting our empire going. So, if we click on here, this is the Produce Upgrades button, and you can see these are all the different buildings that we can build. Probably one that we want to start out with is a storehouse. If we double click on that, you can see it's appeared up here. So that says this city generates an additional plus 100 people, which is really helpful because obviously the more people we have, the more people we get per turn, and the more people we get overall means that the city will level up faster and therefore produce a better outcome, basically. Obviously, the more people, the better the city, basically. Well, generally. Okay, so we've done the storehouse. So if you see down here, that says it will take 3 turns to complete. So we can now exit off of that. These last notifications are just victory goals, basically. So if I click on this, it says, to win this scenario, all rival leaders must be slain and their throne cities captured. Okay, we kind of already know that, and it just says, you can win this scenario by maintaining... Yeah. If your leader falls, they will return after 3 turns at your throne city. If you lose both your leader and your throne city, you will lose the scenario. My throne city being this town here, the town of Tyrion. An army requires your orders. Oh yeah, okay, oops. Okay, so basically we've moved this unit here, and we killed those horses, but our units here have still got movement points, so they can still do things if I want them to. I actually do want them to. There is another thing over here. Independent army. Yeah, we'll go and take that, I think. So if we click on our army here and right click, there we are. So we're fighting some dwarf prospectors, and if I click on them, you can see them there. It shows all their abilities here. Look, they can throw stones. I don't like this ability actually. I saw it before. It's really irritating. Melee strike, walking, tunneling. Because they're dwarves, they can dig through dirt caverns and walls and such. Irregular. That's fine. It's a dwarf, mountaineering, cave crawling, night vision, and generally resistant to poison, because dwarfs are resistant to poison. Okay, so we're just going to fight this. Sofari attacked independence. Okay, so again, this is my army here. They're the defenders, so they get to go first. One thing I actually didn't mention last time, if you look up here, you can see that generally each battlefield has its own effect. And you can also create your own effects, which you can then add to the battlefield in like spells and such. But this means that because, well, it's basically from the area that you're on. Because this is, I think this is called a magma forge, is it? Yeah, a magma forge. So this spreads mana-infused fumes across the battlefield, causing all units on the battlefield to suffocate. Choked units suffer lots of bad things. Okay, so that's a bit annoying. So my units are going to suffer, basically, so they can't move as much, and they don't do much damage. But that applies to everyone on the battlefield. Okay. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, obviously, is move our hero. They actually haven't got any ranged units, so I can probably just let them come to me. We haven't got any damaging spells. Yeah, I'm probably just going to skip this turn and let them come to me. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to get the archers into position. We'll just move our units closer together to kind of get ready for the attack. Yeah, that'll be fine. So their turn. They're going to throw stones at me, which is kind of annoying. Doesn't do that much damage, though. Okay, so Sofa's turn. I keep forgetting that he doesn't actually have any decent spells. Like before, I could charge in here, but I'd rather not. Because I'm probably going to get surrounded by the enemy, and again, if my hero dies, then I'm kind of going to be in big trouble. So we're just going to try and... Can we shock bolts? If we move a little bit closer, can we shock bolts? Yes, we can. So there we are. Hit 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now my cavalry's turn. I'm probably going to wait one more turn before charging the cavalry in. If you remember, my cavalry took a bit of damage last time. You can see their health is a bit low there. Well, it's not low, but, you know, I'd rather they die. So, just going to move the halberdiers up a little bit. Archers are out of range as well, which is a bit of a pain. These little circles actually show where they can hit, and you can see that these dwarves are just outside the circles, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, alright, well, that'll be fine for now. We're actually going to move the longswordsman a little bit closer, and then we'll just end the turn. Okay, so they're moving. Throwing stones at me again. That actually does a lot of damage, that throw stones. Ow. Wow, okay. Like, my hero has taken a lot of damage. Okay, right, well, let's just charge in the cavalry now. We can instantly kill this one with the cavalry. There we are, so he's instantly blown to pieces. Archers. Oh, that's really good. We've got 3 completely clean shots on this one here. That should kill it, or almost kill it. Yep, there we are, so second unit taken out. And charging the longswordsman. Over here. There we are, okay. They're not dead yet, which is, again, a tad annoying. Actually going to heal up my hero. Because, again, if my hero dies, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Priests. Move a little bit closer. Oh, that's a bit annoying. That was a mistake, actually. Yeah, so they do barely any damage here. Because the longswordsmen are in the way, and obviously because they're quite far away. So you can see line of sight penalty minus 50% and range penalty minus 50%. Just because they're far away, so... Okay, oh, and this unit's actually leveled up now, which is good. Halberdiers, you can't actually really do anything here, so just move up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. And it's the end of our turn. Okay, so he's only got 1 unit left, which is here. He's going to attack my longswordsman, they're going to retaliate, and then he's going to die. Okay, cool. Okay, so there we go. So we wiped out those dwarves. We captured that. We've got a bit of money for doing that as well. We got... Okay. Right, so that army that I was just moving with my main hero is now done. If I click on them, yeah, look, you can see up here, 0, 0, 0, 0, so they can't move anymore. I do actually have one other army, which is like a backup army down here, with only 1 unit in, which is some human cavalry. Do I actually want to do it? I could kind of use them as an exploring army. We're almost out of time, actually. I'm going to move them down here. Oh yeah, look, there's a treasure chest here. So we're going to right-click on this treasure chest, and we got 157 gold and 64 mana. That'll do. They actually can move. They can move a lot as well because they're cavalry. They can move very fast. Oh, and we spotted something else over here. That is a brigand hideout, bandit camp basically. An army requires you. Oh right, I've still got one more move. Can move them in there. There we are. Okay, and that's the end of the first turn. So normally, because I had to explain all of it and stuff, like it was obviously a lot longer than normal. Next time I won't explain so much. But yeah, that is. I'm probably going to end the episode there because that's about half an hour. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hoping next turn we'll be able to fit in a lot more. As I said, it's only because I was kind of explaining all of it and talking about it and such that it kind of took so long. So hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next episode.